Here we go. No cars coming, no hand. Look at that. Welcome back to Innovation RC, guys. Today we have a car that I've never ever worked on before, and it's pretty darn cool. It's very high quality, and I really want to thank IslandHobbyNut for sending it out to me. Today we're going to be testing out the Hobao Hyper GTB. They are big competitors for the Arrma Limitless, the Infraction, and all that. They're great GT car chassis that you could really go fast with. Longer than your standard 1/8 scale, which is pretty cool. It's only going to help with stability at higher speeds, but it's still shorter than your standard 1/7 scale, like your Arrma Limitless, Infraction, Felony, whatever it may be, 1/7 scale. So it's right in the middle. It's like a 1/7.5 scale wheel length. It's kind of weird, but it's definitely cool. But they're not as common as Arrma now to be. That's the only downside to it, which isn't a bad thing. I'm sure you can still order from IslandHobbyNut or online or wherever it may be. Have your local hobby shop order the parts. They may not have it on hand unless they're big into the Hobao. God, I don't even know why. I just can't say it. It's just Hobao. All right, so starting here, this is our 1/8 scale long wheelbase GTB. I also changed out the tires to the Hoons just so I could beat the tar out of them, maybe make a little bit of smoke. I do actually have the OEM tires here, and they're a lot grippier. So this is really like a touring car. So you can really do whatever you want. You can make it into a drift car, speedrun car, or just an all-around touring car, which that's what these kind of tires are. But I'm feeling kind of drifty today, so I have the Hoons on, and we're gonna hoon around a little bit. And this guy came with the R35 Nissan GTR body. Now with this kind of body, I think it's gonna be perfect for really what I want to do. I'm pretty sure I want to do a drift build, but leave in the comments what you want me to do with this guy over here. I'm gonna make a carbon fiber build, this and that, and I'll show you guys shortly. This is gonna be a very fun project, so make sure you hit that like button and subscribe below, because there's gonna be a lot more stuff on this guy. I also need to come up with a name for him, so leave in the comments what you think I should name him. And if you guys can also see, we have a little onboard camera. We have another GoPro up over there, so we'll get some onboard footage as well to see how well it drives on board. So we're gonna see how well that does. All right, now popping this beautiful hood. As you guys can see over here, we have our OG 2050 kV brushless motor from Arrma. I've always had one and I haven't even used it. I just took it out of another car. So yeah, I think this is a perfect application for 4S and 6S. Now, if you guys can see, there is an 18 tooth on there, and we have our stock center diff, so we're not doing anything crazy, but we're just gonna get a baseline of what this guy is going to do today. Now, this motor also has a 50mm fan bolted directly to the motor mount, and it's just gonna cool it off. It's really not the best, but it's gonna definitely get the job done and move some air. Now, leading from our motor, we have a Mamba Monster X 8S ESC right over here. Very low profile, and it actually barely sticks just over the chassis a little bit. You guys can see right there, which isn't too bad because nothing's really going to hit it. Hopefully the suspension is just going to rebound. Now, this is going to be a perfect ESC for this kind of application, and if I'm going to want to upgrade or even run higher voltage to begin with, that's a one and done ESC for this kind of guy. This guy is staying in there. Now, speaking of parts, what Ozzie sent me from IslandHobbyNut is a full carbon fiber chassis along with a carbon fiber chassis brace as well. And, well, it looks like a PPS motor mount, but it is, I believe, another brand that also makes some really good stuff. So this here is another grub style locking motor mount, so you could fit larger motors, get a better gear mesh, yada yada. We have a full ceramic bearing kit for this car as well. So at IslandHobbyNut, you're actually gonna get a lot of parts for this car right there. So if you guys are interested for this, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and we're going to be doing a full build as well, and or time lapse. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a time lapse of putting this carbon chassis on the Hobao Hyper GTB. It's going to be very fun. I'm really interested for this project. Hopefully everything goes well. Speaking of suspension and quality, it's just really up there, guys. Super nice shocks. You have your compression, you have your extension, and it just rests. Very nice all around. You have your sway bar, you have steel drive shafts, aluminum towers, completely aluminum shocks as well. Very nice, and yeah, very good. Same thing goes for the front. We have our sway bar, very smooth action. You actually have your camber adjustments over here, Very, very thick and sturdy A-arms. I really like that. Enough talk about the car. Let's see what power we're running. Now, what I want to do today, I'm going to be getting our speed on 4S and 6S. So what I want to do first is speed run. Now, I'm going to see how fast we can go on a single 4S Innovation RC Edition, 10,000 milliamp. And we're actually just gonna do some general bashing after, just to see how it feels on 4S, if we're just gonna, you know, just do some drifting, touring around, whatnot. And we're also gonna check our top speed as well. Then up next, we're gonna have the car cool down, and we are going to run our massive whopping brick of a 6 right here. Innovation RC Edition, 10,000 milliamp. And we're just gonna see, in general, running around, bashing, drifting, hooning, whatever you wanna call it. Now, if you guys want any of these sweet, sweet batteries over here, oh my God, that's a peacock. Thing sounds like a pterodactyl. Now, if you want to get your hands on some of these sweet, sweet bricks right here, I call them bricks, just, it's massive. I will have a link right there if you want to get your hands on some of them. It'll take you right to the website if you want some of these awesome boys right here. And right before I continue, if you guys can see, this massive, massive battery is in here with no modifications whatsoever. And this is really a very long battery, so I completely understand when most models, like the new V2 Limitless, cannot fit this, because you need almost another 2 inches of space just to get these guys in here. This GTB fits this thing with ease. If not, there's a little bit more space to go. So very, very surprised you could fit a brick like this in this thing. All right, so here's our first 4S pass. If you guys can see, we're all zeroed out. Pretty happy that I left the rear windshield clear on the bodies so that you can still see the GPS without actually taking the body off. And we're gonna record on this guy. You recording? Yes, we are. All right, so let's see what she's got. Very smooth. Alrighty, here she comes. That's it. That seemed like 40 miles an hour, maybe. Very nimble. Nope, 34 miles an hour. Ready? Here we go. No cars coming, no hand. Look at that. Nothing at all. I can't even make that up. That is really a good setup. All right, so here, center diff is going to transfer power from the back wheels to the front if there's too much in the back. Now, that's how this thing is just going to go straight every single time, and it's very, very impressive. Now, I'll just do a pull. There's no gyro, no anything here to help it, and we'll just go forward, and I'm just going to gun it. Well, I'll probably stand here so I don't get rocks in my face, but only throttles on my left hand right now. No hands. Look at that. That is genuinely impressive. It really is. And it's going slightly right towards the end just because of the road crown, but that's expected. All right, so now we're just gonna bash around a little bit and see how well it handles. The body is kind of light for the most part, so it might hit the ground, which I did experience a little bit when turning around after the speed run, but it should be all right. Stops really well too. Gets right back on it. Alrighty, as you guys can see, we are all zeroed out with the GPS right over there. Now we have the whopping 6S Innovation RC Edition battery in there. So it's gonna be a little bit heavier, but we're gonna have a lot more power. Let's see what the difference is gonna be like. All right, we're all clear. Here we come, guys. "51 miles an hour. That is very slow on 6S, but there's so much more you can do to this. I really have it geared very conservatively, so I'm not even worried about that. Honestly, I kind of enjoyed running it at like 35 miles an hour. I could probably gear up a little bit more, but all right, so I just boosted all the steering up, so now we have more travel with our steering, and we're gonna hoon around a little bit on 6S. Damn, this thing just wants to jump up. That is awesome. That's a lot of power just coming out at once. Let's see how well it handles without the body. Look at all of that rubber, holy moly. This is all from the tire. That is just crazy. You could see the camber on the vehicle is more coned inside, so we have negative camber in on the front, especially the rear. Look how much more that is than the front, and I purposely did that just for the drift car look. Very surprisingly, through this little torture test, as well as the burnout thing that we just did over there, and some donuts over here, very surprised. This is a very well-built car. I just love how it relaxes the suspension. The suspension is just set up so right. We do have to trim a little bit more off the body, but I didn't have my trimming scissors right now, so next time out we won't hear any body hitting the ground. Plus this road is kind of rough, but nonetheless, vehicle's amazing. Alrighty, now we are just about done beating the tar out of this guy right here. Held up very well, everything went swimmingly. There's a lot of tire everywhere, so the cleanup's gonna be whatever, but you know, that goes hand in hand with having some fun, you know? Very nice build, and I do also want to thank IslandHobbyNut one more time. Beautiful car. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to get to the carbon chassis, upgraded motor mount, ceramic bearing kit, and all that other good stuff. Now, if you guys like this, make sure you subscribe and hit that like button. We're gonna have more videos and how-tos just on this guy right here. I intend to do a little time lapse of that carbon chassis over there by Ironman RC, so very top-notch quality, and I can't wait to add it to this guy right over here, so stay tuned. And if you guys haven't done so, make sure you follow Innovation RC on Instagram. We'll have more pictures, videos, and other cool things on there before it drops on YouTube. Make sure you do that. Alrighty guys, I'm just as excited as you are. Make sure you stay tuned for more.